Okay, let's tie some tube flies. I'm going to tie up a flash tail intruder on the Aqua Flies polytube system. I've got in the back here for our junction tubing is clear ultra rig tubing on 1.8 millimeter polytube, and then I've got a 3 millimeter polytube that's going to slide right over the top. On the back here, I cut a point with a razor blade to make it a little easier to get that ultra rig tubing on there, and to lock down the two sizes of tubes, I'm just going to throw down a little drop of Zap-A-Gap and slide that on and rotate as I slide. Really get a good lock down, put that back to the ultra rig, and away we go. That'll dry just nice. And I'm going to start my thread in the back. The reason I'm using two sizes here of tubing, one is going to give me a nice wide tying platform, and then later we're going to add the cone here, and the 1/4-inch cone head slide on to the 1.8 millimeter. So that'll allow us to use both that, the ultra rig as a junction tube, and the cone head in the front. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start with a little ice dub in the back, a little dubbing ball, just a little bump. Nothing crazy. It's just going to help prop the Flashabou in the back, just a little prop. And that's the next. I'll take some of this electric blue Flashabou, take about like an 1/8 of a pencil's thickness. We're going to cut the full length of it off. And then what I like to do here is I'm going to take and double it over evenly somewhat, and I'm just going to come in and cut those into 2 hanks of the Flashabou, and I'm going to take and set one down for now. We're going to use it all here in a second. Just set one down. Take this other one. We're going to tie this in right in the 50-50 position, right in the middle. On top, we'll do a little loose wrap, pinch wrap, secure that in, and then I'll take and pull back and kind of down, and leave a little bit to tie down. And now I've covered 2 sides there. Make a little ramp. This is going to create a bump in the fly, but we're not too concerned, and the fish definitely are not concerned. So I'm going to rotate my vise, and now I'm going to do that again and cover the remaining 2 sides. Tie in on the top since I rotated in the halfway position. I'm going to take and fold that back on my side this time and lock that down. You can turn your vise back, and we'll just kind of again create a thread base to have a smooth transition here for the little bump. Okay. Now we can come in with the Lagartun French braid, and we're going to wrap this forward up the remaining 3 millimeter polytube. It's our intruder body. I'm just going to wrap forward. Sometimes it's nice to get a little drop of super glue in there just in case. And I'll cover that whole thing there. Lock that down. Oops. Okay. Next, I'm going to come in with some of this Kingfisher fin Racoon. We're gonna tie it in as a wing, which will act as a nice prop for the marabous. You could do another dubbing ball here if you really felt you needed it to prop this up, but this stuff poofs out in the water pretty nice. So it's gonna do the job. We can take and get rid of, you know, as much guard hairs as you want. Kind of reduce it down a little. So I like to leave some of the guard hairs in sometimes just to get a little flash in there, a little natural, like shiny stuff. And then you can take and fluff out the bottom. Get rid of that. And then I'm going to tie that right in, right on top, like a Scandinavian style wing. And I want it to come to about the midway point of the Flashabou. Maybe just a little less even. I'm going to do a pinch wrap, pull tight and up, secure that in. There we go, and then I'm going to go ahead and trim out the excess. Cover that up. Ish. There we go. And then I'm going to start with my marabous. So I'll take I've already prepared some Kingfisher Blue marabou. We're going to tie in by the tip. Just lay that down. Secure that in. Sometimes I like to fold the tip back and get a couple wraps. These are pretty delicate stems, so they can break on you or pull out. Preen everything back. We're going to palmer this forward. One right in front of the next. Just trying not to trap anything under itself. Kind of pulling it forward, the stem forward while wrapping the fibers back. And probably one more here is all I need for volume. We can trap that down, secure that in. Trim off your stem. A couple wraps forward for a base for the next one. And then we're going to come in with our black. Again, I've prepared my feather for what I want. Tie it in by the tip. Fold that back. A couple wraps forward. Trim out the tip. And do the same here. We don't need as much of the black necessarily. This is just for contrast, not necessarily for volume. Get those straight back. You can moisten the marabou, sometimes helps. I've got super glue on my finger, I think. Oh well. Okay, wrapping forward. Maybe one more. Right there. Lock that in. Secure all of that. And we can go ahead and, there you go, that looks nice there. We get a couple whip finishes here. Finish off with a little more super glue to lock down the thread. This will just add for durability, just in case. Try not to get too much of it on the material or yourself. Now we can slide our cone on there, and that'll lock on. You can pop off the needle. And I like to take a nice razor blade. You can do this with your scissors too, but I like to trim with the razor blade for a really clean cut. Nice and close there. And then you can just take the blue of your flame, melt down the top, and it'll give you that nice little lip. That cone that's not coming off. And there we have it. There's your flash tail intruder. Quick, simple, quick to tie, effective. There you go. Tie some up, get out there, catch some fish. Thanks for watching.